Breaking news. The first death from coronavirus here in the United States.
I am officially declaring a national emergency.
As of tomorrow, our public schools will be closed.
Stay at home, that is the order tonight.
The coronavirus is a pandemic.
COVID-19. Number of coronavirus cases.
Health authorities are preparing for the worst.
When you're in college or a boarding school or whatever, and you're experiencing social anxiety, that's really hard to escape because everyone is everywhere. I'm Sally. I live in Denver, Colorado, but I've moved around a bit.
I'm Josh Felton, class of 22. I'm a botanist.
I'm Augie Voss. I'm a senior. Film and media studies major from Madison, Wisconsin.
I felt that on the spectrum of like introverted to extroverted, I was way more leaning towards extroverted side. Like my social battery really got replenished at events like going out and seeing friends.
I feel like I'd always been somewhere in the ambivert gray area in between. I was super reserved growing up, and then I can sort of trace throughout high school becoming more extroverted.
The way that I recharge is I'm like very extroverted. I've always been very extroverted.
Pandemic hit and it was like, 2 steps back.
This morning, as a first of its kind new report by the peer-reviewed journal The Lancet says mental health issues were magnified by the pandemic. The report stipulates that an additional 53 million cases of major depressive disorder and 76 million cases of anxiety disorders were caused by COVID. The report unfortunately also says that younger people were the hardest hit by COVID when it comes to their mental health.
I wasn't getting the energy that I get from being around people my age.
So then coming into this year and last year and being back in a semi-normal campus environment,
I realized that just being out at a social event drained my social battery like no other.
For myself, there's sort of a feedback loop between anxiety and social anxiety and procrastination and lack of motivation.
Pretty much gave up on a lot of my academic ambition.
Habits that most of us have picked up over the pandemic, being at home and doing our classwork on Zoom. I think most of us mastered the art of procrastination.
I think I've had anxiety in different forms my entire life, but since the pandemic, it's been more about how other people see me, which it always has been, but it's never been this intense.
My social skills struggled during 2020 to 2021. And so, and it's still something that it doesn't feel like I'm back to pre-pandemic times with.
I love being around people. I love meeting new people. Like I'll spend a couple hours at a party or hanging out with a group of even really close friends, and then I just have to tap out.
Like just high school Josh even was a social butterfly, and now it's different. So not bad, but different. So if you would have asked me during my first year, during my sophomore year, how I would have saw senior year Josh, I would have thought I would be going to parties all the time. I would think I would be hosting parties and doing all that. Last year, I only wanted to hang out with my pod pretty much.
The part of like being social that really helps me with my anxiety actually is the fact that good people have this magical ability to like ease a lot of my anxieties.
There's certainly like almost a ritualistic aspect to like sitting down and editing photos or videos for 8 or 10 hours into the night.
Having, maybe not an end goal, but knowing like I'm gonna go to the lab, I'm gonna go see some flowers that are changing, they're opening, they're closing, but then again, every night going to the space was very comfortable. And
being like a part of the music it eases a lot of my anxiety in the moment. I think the band helped me a lot with that. I got to meet a lot of new people. The first gig we played, I felt like I did that for myself. That was one of the best moments of my life.
Yeah, I think that it's absolutely been a tool, an asset, a respite, and just a haven.
Shout out the greenhouse for the plants behind me, and for literally keeping me sane throughout that process. Like it was honestly the schedule, the consistency of my lab work, my thesis work.
Just to keep going, like on an existential level, like it's just something that I love, and it's something that I can always come back to. And I think that's something that eases anxiety. It grounds me and it motivates me. That was a silver lining for sure, was sort of being forced to like focus on this creative work that I know feeds my soul.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Nobody ever loved me like you do. And if somebody loved me like you do.